Chris over here, head system trader at Macro Ops, and today I want to talk about what trading is actually like as a career. Not the look at my Ferrari, look at my Lamborghini, I'm flying in private jets, here's my fancy watch, going to Louis Vuitton to buy this new thing or shoes or whatever. Like whatever you do with your money, whether you're an engineer, whether you're an investor, whether you are a trust fund kid. Whatever you do with your money is irrelevant to the trading. I know a lot of people use that as kind of like an aspirational thing to, get people to, I guess like a cheap way to get credibility. And cool. I don't know if they're doing that stuff real or not. I'm not here to bash on anybody, but I'm just going to talk about my experiences and what I know as far as being a trader. And I've been doing this for over 20 years, so I have some idea of going from, beginning and just kind of getting caught up in, like, oh, this stock, that stock, or trading futures, trading options, trading binary options, trading crypto, any of the things. So first thing I want to talk about is trading is actually really, really hard. I don't want to make it out to seem that it's just something super easy. Oh, Chris, he categorizes with the SQN and it's this big, fancy, amazing indicator, and do exactly what he says because look at this, that, the other. Look, I put my stuff out on Twitter, so try to do it as real time so you guys can see what I'm doing and follow along. But it's more to like give you guidance of how I'm doing it. Not so much to tell you to do this stuff, not saying, hey, like this is what I'm doing, so hurry up and buy right now. It's just what I'm doing, so you can see what a real trader who's been in the game for a long time, how I think about it. Now it's just me. I've taken my learnings from Al Brooks, which is amazing, by the way, if you really want to get into price action and just a true master of trading. Al Brooks' trading course is amazing. It's really in-depth, long, it's so good. Dr. Van Tharp is also somebody who I've taken a lot of information and has helped shape what I do in trading. And then Scott Phillips Trading. I think that guy, he does a great job of kind of like distilling a lot of the information down and sharing what works for him. None of them are flashy and trying to do anything that they're not. Like, they're real people and they're real about it. And that's what I find super important in trading, is to be real, understand what's important, because you're doing this for a living, you're doing this for a life. I have a son. My wife's pregnant and I have a son coming, so I have them to worry about and take care of their future. I have family and friends. You may be just starting out. You don't have a girlfriend, a boyfriend, significant other. You may not have children. That may be 20 years away. It was for me. Whatever it is, but I mean, you have to you have to be responsible here. And that's what trading is thinking about like what is actually responsible and what is the right move, and try to avoid a bunch of stupid moves so that you can be in the right place to take advantage of when something really big happens. Like what's going on in the NASDAQ and the US equities right now, they're really ripping. So if you're in a position to where you got into that and you're catching that move, maybe you got in at the exact bottom in 2009 or 2018 or whatever, congratulations to you. You were there at the right place at the right time, but the rest of the time is not as easy. It's really hard. And you're just trying to tread water and take chunks out of the market day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. And then every now and again, you're going to catch something that's really lucky. So don't focus on the lucky parts. What I'm talking about, what I think is super important, is to focus on managing yourself on the day-to-day. Okay, you can take, let me just break it down. My main revenue is swing trading. That's where I get the majority of my money from. That's where I've built up over time. Now, a lot of you may not find that to be super exciting and you want the action of day trading. And if you can, if you're doing this swing trading and you got a great setup, why aren't you doing it day trading like 10 times a day to 100 extra returns? And sure, I do get into the day trading when I can, but I take day trading extremely serious. I don't just show up and start day trading. Like, I have a manually back-tested strategy. I know my distribution. I know I'm going to have win, win, lose, win, win, lose. I may have 10, 20, 30 runners in a row that just kill, and then, get a little overconfident and boom, you take a little drawdown. That's the ebb and flow. And your job as a trader, you don't know which trade is going to work. If you're 50, 60, 70, 80, 90% win rate at times, you may drop down to 30, 40, 50% win rate. And you just don't know when that's going to happen. That could also be, even in a 70 or 80% win rate system, you could have multiple losers in a row. So what your job is to just take the setup over and over and apply the correct amount of risk, position sizing, placing your stops, maybe taking profits or adding to positions depending on the type of strategy you're in. And you want to be in a position to where you can take advantage of those, and not in things that you haven't tested, you haven't done any work on, to where you just think, oh, the Nasdaq's ripping, I got to get in, or Apple's on fire, I got to get in, and short gold, or whatever. If you don't have a strategy for that, then when your strategy is ready to go, your money is elsewhere and probably losing money, or you can't pull it out because you just don't know if it's gonna, maybe you're just sitting in a position that's just doing this that you thought was gonna rip, and you have another opportunity come up that is part of your system. You can't, if your money is applied over here, you can't put it to work where it should be. So thinking about trading as a business is kind of like having a store where people come into your store, look around, and they may walk away and not buy anything. That's the same sort of thing as a losing trade, because you just need to be there in the game so that when the trade does happen, when people come into your store to buy something, they can actually buy it. When the trade does happen, you're actually there to take advantage of it. So those sort of things are really important. Also, if you're not using the proper tools, so sleep is one tool, diet is a really good tool, meditation, the proper computer. Like if you've got the right software and a powerful computer, especially if we're talking about trading. Trading is more than likely on a computer, so you're going to need a powerful computer that's not going to be too slow. So you need to when you attempt to take trades, it is just like bogged down and just you can't get into it. You want to have it to be fast enough and robust enough so that you can execute your trades, whether they be end of day trades, end of month trades, or 5-minute candles during the middle of the day. You want to make sure that your system is good. You want to make sure that you're healthy. You want to make sure that you're in an optimistic, positive, abundant mindset, because you're not going to be worried. And how do you get to that? The back testing. Having a strategy that you have built and you own because you know it so well. I mean, whether you're using stuff I share or you're using stuff that other people share. My stuff is derivative of other people's things. I didn't just come up with these things myself. I learned from others. Whether you learn from me, whether you learn from others, make sure that you are taking it and making it your own. So then those are the basic tools here. Hydration, keeping your mindset and your body and everything calm in a collective environment. You take a loser, no big deal. You take 5 losers in a row, no big deal. If it is a big deal, then what do? You stop, because you need to get yourself back to a baseline to where you're not stressed out about it. So you may take a week or 2 off. You may take a few minutes off, whatever it is. Just make sure being part of your toolbox is your mindset, your health, your wellness, what you're thinking about, how you're feeling, easy breathing. Another important tool is the checklist. Again, I share my checklist for free. Hunt around on the website or make your own. But mine, the reason I share mine is because I want you to see what I do before my trades, and then make it your own. if if you're not able to actually trade during that day because you have meetings or you have bad internet or you're sick or you're just not feeling good, well, the risk of trading that day is going to cost more than what you would potentially have made because you're just not executing. It's it's like you don't get into a race if your car has like a flat tire, right? It's a similar sort of thing. You wouldn't want to get in those sort of situations. It's very important that you have a strategy that, one, meets your objectives. So if you don't know what your objectives are with that strategy, it's important that you're not trading a strategy that doesn't work for you. So if you're doing, let's say, if you're looking for 20 to 30% return over the years, you probably don't need to be day trading. And if you're looking for 100% returns, you better have a really good strategy, and you better be focused on yourself. Not so much the strategy, but yourself, because that's how you get to those sort of numbers. Another question I have oftentimes is, how to choose a market, add something to a watch list, which strategy to trade. Do I trade bull quiet and just go find a setup in there, or do I trade, the FBO, or do I trade into whatever it is? You need to understand, if you're a bullish person generally, then you're going to have a tough time short selling. And if you're a bearish person generally, you're going to have a tough time buying this NASDAQ rally, right? It's just too hard for you because you're always thinking the world's going to end. Or if you're bullish, it's going to be hard to short because you're always optimistic. So there's a shift that you just have to find what works. Do you believe news is important and totally has a influence on the markets? Well, when you hear me say, I don't care about news, I have my setups. The thing that news is useful for is when liquidity, I know that if I have a setup and it's kind of moving here, but my target's up here, then I use news to say, okay, we're going to have earnings announcements here, or we're going to have some sort of, news event that's probably going to help get that volume up to where it is. That's the way I use news. But if you believe that the news is important and tariffs and tweets and all this is important, then when I say those sort of things, you're going to think I'm an idiot. And it's not that either one of us is right or wrong. It's just my opinion. It's just your opinion. And you need to believe, you need to trade those beliefs. You need to understand how those work. I put some articles on my site kind of about figuring out how to do that. Now, why I'm so big on helping traders and just kind of sharing all my information. I'm not trying to show off that this is my trading or that's my trading. Trading's really hard. And I want you to understand that it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. That's kind of how trading goes. You're constantly doing this. Yeah, you may have a few runs where you think you're Superman, but I guarantee that's going to end sometime, and you're going to go through a drawdown and you're going to doubt yourself. Having the strategies, having the systems to trade, having all the data that you've manually back tested and is what's going to keep you in the game. So, if you're taking 100 trades a month, you're going to, and you have a 60% win rate, let's say, yeah, 60 trades are going to be winners. That's more than the 40 that are losers. And if you're making $1 more on every winner than you are on you're losing, you're going to make money at the end of the month. And that's what your business is. Trading is a business. It's not the ego involved of saying that, you're going to call the euro, or you're going to, you're calling Apple earnings or anything like that, whatever, that's fine. If you want to do it that way, I don't care. I just want to be in a position in an environment where I have, the wind at my back. When I use market regimes to characterize what's going to happen, I'm not guessing that, Tesla's going to win on their have a huge earning things. Like, most likely Tesla's not even going to be in my universe. I want to find things that are in my universe and that have, kind of wins at their back. They're going to react. One of the analogies I like to use is, for my SQN, or, I'm using the vol breakout system. it categorizes the market so that you understand what the characteristics of the market is. It's like a calendar and a map, right? If you know that you're in Montana and it's January, then that tells you what tools you need to have. You need to have a coat, you need to have a hat, you need to have gloves, you need to have boots. You may have to go shovel the sidewalk, snow tires. If you're in Palm Springs, California in July, you know where you're at and you know the characteristics of July in the desert. It's gonna be scorching hot. So that jacket, coat, hat, gloves, ski or snow tires and shovel, that's all not gonna be useful at all in the desert. So what the SQN is about is saying, okay, this is characteristically what's going to be useful here. That's not to say that in January you may not have a day that warmer than normal to where you're outside saying, hey, yeah, I'm used to it being 0 and it's kind of nice today. I'm going to go out with a t-shirt and go for a walk. It'll happen. It's not 100%, but sometimes it's like giving you that understanding of what the environment is like so that you can go get the right tools and be ready, which is what, like bull quiet regime is about with, when I trade Russell. It's only working right now. If Russell goes into a sideways quiet or sideways volatile or bull volatile, I'm going to trade, or even bear quiet, bear volatile, I'm going to trade it completely different than I trade it now. All I know is that when it's in bull quiet, it's going to go up a lot more often than it's going to go down. And it may sideways for a while. That's what I'm saying. It's not all the time. You don't have to just blindly buy. Just know that it's there. So I kind of just ran it here, I guess. This is what I just felt that I would get this out there and talk about what a trader is like. A real trader. I would I'm not bagging on other traders out there who do the fancy cars and all those other stuff. I don't know anything about them. I am going to say that it is a good business. It's a great way to make money. It's if you are able to do it, it's not for everybody at all. It's a great quality of life if you can work up to it over the years and build it. It's not something that's going to be like an overnight, maybe. For me, it hasn't been. It wasn't an overnight success, but it's going to take work. It's going to take time. It's going to take effort, putting in the reps, and just getting good and understanding that at the end of the year, you're going to be, if you do the work and the hard work, which I've written about, then it's going to be useful for you over time. But if you're not putting in the work, then you're probably not going to know what it's going to do. So take care of yourself. Hit me up on Twitter at ChrisDMacro. You can get me at macro-ops.com/quant, where I do a lot of my, share my systems, share my strategies. And it's not like really in-depth quant stuff. It's getting people from, I want to be a quant to I'm in trading, and, kind of like bridging that gap so that you can take what I talk about and to become, more quantitative with your work. Very simple. All right. macro-ops.com/quant, at ChrisDMacro on Twitter. ChrisDover.com is my personal website. And yeah, reach out. Love everybody. Positive energy. Take care of yourself. And yeah, hit me up with any questions.